24th, 2019. During routine operations within a licensed polymetallic nodule field in the Clarion-Clipperton zone of the Pacific Abyssal Plain, the deep-sea mining vessel Osiris, captained by Elias Godric and owned by Veritech Oceanics, a subsidiary of Veritech Systems International, or VSI, detected a subsurface acoustic anomaly beneath the seafloor, more than 4,600 meters below the surface. Using an autonomous underwater vehicle, or AUV, equipped with sub-bottom acoustic survey instruments, the crew of the Osiris identified a sediment-capped fissure approximately 15 meters beneath the seabed. Initial scans suggested the fissure extended beyond the resolution limits of the survey equipment. Follow-up mapping confirmed that the fracture opened into a much larger void, descending hundreds of meters beneath the ocean floor. The Osiris, however, was outfitted for polymetallic nodule recovery, not subsurface excavation. Over the following weeks, Captain Godric and Veritech's corporate offices used VSI's influence and resources to secure expedited authorization and mobilize additional assets to the site. The operation would require remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, seabed excavation systems, geotechnical survey equipment, and a second surface support vessel carrying its own crew, supplies, and an additional crewed deep submergence vehicle. The International Seabed Authority, or ISA, granted Veritech exclusive authorization to investigate the anomaly within its licensed exploration area under mineral assessment provisions. To the world at large, the discovery remained undisclosed. Excavation of the overlying sediment layer began as soon as the new equipment arrived on site. The process was slow and methodical, conducted through ROV-guided suction dredging, water jetting, and continuous sonar verification to reduce the risk of destabilizing the fissure's upper structure. As the surface material was cleared away, higher-resolution acoustic scans confirmed the buried formation's scale. The void extended well beyond several hundred meters, with no detectable base within instrument limits. Captain Godric was credited with discovering what Veritech believed could be a vast, untouched mineral deposit, though the crew of the Osiris still had no clear understanding of what lay beneath the sediment layer. Material readings from within the fissure were inconsistent. Trace signatures of known minerals were detected, but the majority of returns fell outside recognized parameters. The anomalies were attributed to signal distortion, complex subsurface geology, and the limitations of acoustic scanning at extreme depth. By late July, the excavation had fully exposed the upper mouth of the fissure, and a second autonomous underwater vehicle was deployed into the opening to gather higher-resolution mapping data before direct ROV exploration began. Unlike a tethered vehicle, the AUV was unable to transmit full imaging data back to the surface in real time. Its most valuable scans, photographs, sonar returns, and navigation records were stored locally inside the vehicle itself. The AUV successfully entered the fissure and descended to approximately 5,000 meters before it began behaving erratically. Its acoustic beacon continued transmitting, but the vehicle failed to maintain its pre-programmed route. The cause of the error could not be determined from the surface, but operators suspected a navigation fault, signal obstruction, or, most likely, collision with unstable debris along the fissure wall. The vehicle's failure was costly, but not immediately alarming. The loss of the AUV's onboard data, however, created an immediate problem. For VSI, the vehicle's logs were the first real proof of what lay inside the fissure. Without that data, Veritech had only partial telemetry, inconclusive scans, and a potentially valuable discovery it could not yet verify. Weather conditions soon complicated recovery efforts. Seasonal storm activity across the Pacific created narrow working windows, forcing Veritech's crews to pause repeatedly between equipment launches. By the end of the month, Hurricane Eric's development in the eastern Pacific threatened to worsen sea conditions across the region, adding pressure to recover the lost unit before operations were suspended. Each delay increased pressure from VSI leadership. Secrecy, financing, regulatory control, and corporate advantage all depended on confirmation, which was believed to be stored within the lost AUV's data logs. The longer the operation remained stalled, the greater the risk that competitors, regulators, or outside observers would begin scrutinizing VSI's operation. Between periods of rough weather, the surface crew prepared a full survey deployment. A squad of remotely operated vehicles with live camera feeds would descend into the fissure tethered to the surface vessels to map the interior structure, recover geological samples, and locate the damaged AUV's data logs. Seabed scanners at the mouth of the fissure continued to probe the chasm from above, but even from the exposed entrance, the instruments could not detect the base of the void. Beneath the surface,